Welcome to Rainbow Soul Podcast, where our Soulstrology comes forward to help you manage your everyday life, with forecasts and deep dives on natal charts and queer perspectives on the planets, transits, and more. A group discussion about upcoming transits with tips on how to read these transits in your own chart. Hollis offers years of wisdom and natal chart knowledge with Bright Hawk's positive perspective and Lacrosse's inquiry. We offer the complete queer astrology experience. Welcome to Rainbow Soul. Please help us by subscribing, sharing, and commenting and reviewing. You can also learn where else Rainbow Soul is offered on our website at rainbowsoul.show.
Hello, welcome to Rainbow Soul Soulstrology Forecast. I'm glad you're here. This is for December, I think it's 9th through the 16th. Hopefully I got that right. It's actually at the top, 9th through the 15th. Anyway, you know, numbers, schmunders, whatever. I'm Hollis Taylor. I'm one of your astrologers here today. I do readings. I do natal chart readings, death astrology. So I look at whoever passed. I'm not really into trying to predict when you're going to die. Instead, I do after the person dies. Okay? And I look at their astrology chart and I help you sort that out to the best of my ability. And
hi there, I'm Bright Hawk. You can always learn more about me at brighthawkproductions.com. I'm an author of the book The Dancing Hippo, which makes a great gift this time of year. Beautiful book, story about resilience. It's a lot of fun. If you get the ebook, it's me telling the story, and Hollis is my live action character, the Dancing Hippo. Also has 5 pieces of music. Everybody gets to do a hippo dance trance, because who doesn't want to do that, right? And I'm an artist as well, and yeah.
I'm part ostrich.
And trying not to have my head in the sand, trying to keep my head up.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Go ahead. It's great to have you back, Lacrosse.
Yeah, I'm back. Hi, I'm Lacrosse Ortiz, creator of the Fool's Journey Color Journal. I have podcast Master of None, still working on it, slowly but surely, and recently a new granddad. So very excited for that.
Congrats.
Yep. So, and you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and YouTube.
Yeah, I was just thinking about your grandchild would have been born during a Mercury retrograde. And if someone's ever born during a Mercury retrograde, when Mercury does go retrograde, they're doing really good. They're not really having too much trouble. I mean, they might a little bit depending on other placements, but yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. Like, that's already a thing. So it's because they're in their nature, they're where they came from. So isn't that fun? Hi, Barbara. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. So today, this week, one of the biggest focuses is Gemini full moon. So we're going to do a little meditation now. So I hope that you could sit still for a minute. Maybe you can close your eyes and take a deep breath. Maybe just listen and put your feet flat on the floor. Take a few deep breaths. And as you imagine yourself walking outdoors under a beautiful night sky, and the stars, they go on forever. And off to one side, there is a beautiful moon glow. The moon is shining bright. you stare at that full moon, you realize your personal connection to the moon. And the moon's push and pull on the water that your body is made of. And how the full moon pushes your waters. And as you stare at this moon, one symbol comes from the center of it. And it looks like the Roman number 2. Gemini. And Gemini inspires us. Inspires us to move forward, to expand. And maybe we have many balls in the air. And as you feel your emotional and natural connection to the moon, you come back into your body, back into your body in this here and now. Back into your presence. I invite you to put your hand on your heart. Help yourself feel present in this moment. And as you wiggle your fingers and your toes, take a deep breath and open your eyes. And here we are in the here and now. Rainbow Soulstrology Forecast for December 9th through the 15th. I got it right. Woohoo! Well done, Bright Hawk. Well done.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Great job. Hey, handpan music is fun. It's great to meditate to. And one of the things that I want to do in the coming year is make sure that me and Bright Hawk spend a little bit more time making regular meditations with music and just recording them and putting them up on like maybe YouTube or something.
Because we've done it for other people. We've done very elaborate soundtracks
We
for
have.
other people's meditations, but we've yet to do what we do here all the time.
So I think we just might need to schedule it, Bright Hawk, like once a week or twice a week.
Clearly.
Yeah, maybe that's what we do on the weekends.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad everybody's here. Hi, Tamara. Look, you
Hi.
caught us live. Woohoo!
Oh.
Welcome.
Cute.
Hi,
Sweet.
Dawn.
Nice.
And it looks like you're in the flow, right? Welcome. I know that we did not, it's actually Mercury retrograde that I didn't announce it. Like I knew several days ahead of time and I was like, oh yeah, I should announce that. The fog went over my brain. So
And sometimes there's the thought, yes, announce that. Wait, do I want to commit myself to what if something happens?
I didn't think of any of that. I
Okay.
was pretty sure I was gonna
Well.
schedule it. I can always move the time a little bit if I have to, but yeah, I just didn't. I'm sorry, guys. I knew we were gonna go live
Well,
Sunday.
I'm thrilled they're here, and isn't it nice to have folks interacting and being able to ask questions? It makes a big difference.
So most of the time we will try to schedule for Sundays or Mondays live. Okay. But we'll try to, I'll try to get better at announcing it. I'm just going to sum it up to, just Mercury retrograde. So
We're all doing the best we can.
um
Well, and today I believe Neptune is going direct.
oh well, there you go.
So if you feel like you're pulling yourself out of gauze, like trying to get present,
Oh,
you know,
no.
if there's some of that, I'm getting some nodding from lacrosse. You know, if you feel like you're sort of
Right.
like emerging, that's Neptune. Neptune's been retrograde for months.
Yeah, I think
So-
Nadia Shaw like described it last week or whatever as feeling like you just woke up from a really long nap and you missed a whole bunch of stuff. And I was laughing because I seen a news report about some people that weren't happy about the way they voted. And I was like, well,
it's a little late now.
It's a little late.
Yep, can't take it back.
Oh my God.
Okay, so Dawn asked, how often does Mercury go into retrograde? Usually about twice a year.
No, 4 times.
Is it 4 times a year?
Yeah.
Okay. It's for about 6 weeks or so. And we didn't come out of it yet. We went into it.
At the end of the week, that's the finisher on Gemini full moon on Sunday. So Sunday, you'll see.
We'll see. We'll talk about it, but
let's leave it as a cliffhanger. There's something to look forward to.
we will talk about it a little bit later in the chart as we go through, because as you know, some people really like to see the charts. We're also trying to simplify a little bit. So if you have any suggestions or anything that you'd like us to talk about in the weekly forecast, I'd love to hear that. And so,
hey Cheryl, good to see you.
Hey Cheryl, good to see you. Yeah, welcome. All right, so I'm going to add our these are slides. So this week, this actually starts tomorrow. Okay, so we already talked about today last week. I will take a little recap, which is Mercury has been retrograde. Mars just went retrograde. So I thought it was interesting that if you were paying attention this morning, Syria, the Syrian war, which has been going on for like 15 years, they finally took that guy who was taking advantage of them out of power. They finally took him out of power. Talk about Mars retrograde, right?
Wow.
And so Mars is usually about conflict. So when it's going forward, of course, conflict can happen. But when it goes retrograde, sometimes we can become aware of some action that we took that maybe we didn't want to, or maybe or war could end. And that's exactly what I was thinking. Like from mundane astrology, it really could stop that really long conflict.
It's amazing.
And I'd have to look at when they entered it to see more of the details of that. But I just thought it was very interesting. And Mars just went retrograde.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, sometimes when Mars goes retrograde, it's in Leo. So it kind of makes sense for Syria, because when it goes retrograde, they took out their leader, and Leo tends to be about leadership. So they sort of overcame their leader, right? Okay. And it went retrograde, so it meant that we reviewed it. Now, in our personal lives, okay. Now, in our personal lives, Mars can be, Mars is about taking action. Yes, it's sometimes about conflict and violence. Oftentimes in our personal lives, though, it's mostly about like our motivation, our drive. Okay, so if you I felt it. Mars went retrograde, and I was like, I don't want to do nothing. And then you all wonder, okay, so maybe that's why I didn't post it. Okay, but I tend to. That's why I didn't announce it. So, you know, that's just like procrastination. And when Mars is retrograde, I tend to have a lot of procrastination. Yeah.
Which is kind of unlike you.
I know, I hate it. All right.
So the other thing that I just want to point out is, in addition to Mars being retrograde, it's opposite Venus and Pluto. And Venus and Pluto are conjunct right now in Aquarius. And so that configuration is pretty intense.
Yeah, that makes me think about relationships, people's relationships, But of course, it also makes me think about the people, like think about the Syrian people getting into better relationship with themselves, really, because Aquarius tends to represent the collective, right? Okay, and when you put Pluto and Venus together, Pluto tends to be about change and like big change, like sometimes it can be death, but a lot of times it's other change. And then Venus is about relationships with self as well, including self-love. Um, so the fact that the two of them are together in Aquarius makes me think a little bit about that. So this is kind of the recap from last week. That's what's kind of already happened. And Dawn, just so you know, Mercury's in retrograde for 6 weeks, so it takes a long time. So first we go in and then we get through it, and then when it's done, we come out. Okay, which is going to happen at the end of the week. Now, Neptune went direct for the first time in, we said it last week. It was like 10 years or something. I mean, 10 months or something. It's a long time.
Yeah.
So Neptune went direct, and that's what can make you feel like you woke up from a really long nap. Okay, so where you're like, oh, finally, and you pull the mud off your eyes, and you realize something. Okay, so if you're having realizations in the next few days, today, yesterday, tomorrow, and even the whole week, I would say, probably going to depend on how Neptune is transiting your chart. So feel free to ask any questions in the comments. We'd love to see your questions. And right now I'm realizing I'm not seeing any questions or anything in the groups. So that tells me I'm just actually not getting any feedback at all from there. So if you're in the group, I'm coming. Hi, Angela. Love and light to you. See what I mean? So Angela commented and we didn't see it. Okay. Oops. Sorry. And it's okay. And then we also.
So the other thing I would stress about Monday is that there's really positive aspects Monday, positive, powerful, spiritual aspects. There's a grand trine in fire that again involves Mars, Mercury.
I'm trying.
So
okay.
That would be really helpful if we could go back to the main slide.
Okay.
So anyway, the grand trine in fire. Fire, of course, can be very passionate. So it's action and things could fall into place very quickly, like the thing in Syria. So the grand trine in fire, because it involves Mercury, which is very slow right now, it's slowing down, and by the end of the week, it'll stop and turn around. The North Node and Mars, which is also retrograde, that grand trine in fire lasts almost all week. The other thing you'll see there with the moon in Aries is the moon is conjunct basically Neptune and the North Node there in the bottom part of the chart. And it is in what's known as a mystic rectangle, which involves a number of trines and sextiles. And it's a very positive thing. It's a very spiritual, fated energy. So there could be, with Mercury and Mars opposite each other, with Venus there as well. Conversation. There could be powerful conversations happening. And I would, be mindful, because with retrogrades, things can come out and can't necessarily take stuff back, right? So just think before you speak. But very positive aspects. And Monday is interesting. I want to point out the void moons. This week, I've talked to you about in the past about what's known as a void of course moon. And it's that moment when the moon changes signs. It leaves one sign and enters another. And there's this moment. And sometimes that moment is minutes, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We see that a lot. This week, the void moons are hours, half a day, really long void moons. So that's why I like to tell you about them, because this one goes from Monday morning at 8:44 to 1:38 p.m. So quite a big stretch there. That's mountain time, so adjust for you. If you can take some self-care time Monday, that would be awesome. If there's something that just be aware, what the void moon means is that the moon is weak. There's very little emotional energy, so it's void. So it's not a time to try to initiate things, try to take action, and then be surprised that there's no energy for it. It's a good time to pay attention to the fact that it's a no drama time, a no emotion time. So if there's somebody you need to talk to who you do not want to have it be a dramatic thing, you want it to just go right away. This void time can be what can be quite powerful. Maybe it's a good time to ask for the boss for a raise or something. So anyway, that's what void moons are. I'll talk about them as we go through because they're really extensive this week.
Wow.
And of course, an Aries moon, when the moon is in Aries, it's sometimes referred to as a cat on a hot tin roof. You've got the cool moon and hot Aries, and it's like throwing water on a hot pan, right? It goes. So they can be a little nervous in their energy,
and it can kind of talk to Mars, right, which is retrograde.
Absolutely, the moon is going to answer to Mars, the retrograde Mars in Leo, and it's in a really positive aspect to it because of that mystic rectangle.
Yeah, the hardest thing is that it's in opposition to Pluto and Venus, but I think because Pluto is at 0 degrees, Venus is at 2, and Mars is at 6, but it's headed towards that Venus. They're going to come together. I think it's probably going to be more about relationships for people on a personal level. You could find some things about relationships that need to be changed or shifted. Even if it's not like your love relationship, it could be other relationships like friends or people that you work with. That grand trine and the mystic rectangle, I think, are really beautiful. That's a lot of really easy stuff coming together this week, especially with the grand trine and fire. That's really about things manifesting really easily. And with Mars in retrograde and Mercury in retrograde and the North Node involved, that tells us a lot about how sort of inspiring it can actually be. Although with Mercury in retrograde, it may be hard to talk about it. It might be more of something internal. It might be something more inside your heart. Okay, but the Mars retrograde can also be about like if you're holding on to any kind of anger or frustration or anything like that, you're likely to turn it inward at this point. So I would just be aware of that, pay attention to that, especially now that Neptune's going direct. It will start to help you really sort of take a moment to look inwards.
Right.
And yeah. And I think that's pretty much the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday is when things shift a little, right?
Right. So the mystic rectangle is not really complete like it was. The grand trine is going to last all week. The moon is going to move out of Aries into Taurus. And so now this is a little bit of a tough aspect. The moon squares that Venus, Pluto, and Mars. So not the easiest aspect. The moon is in a much tougher aspect on Wednesday than it was on Monday. So if you're one of those folks that has strong Cancer placements, or your moon is in Cancer, you want to be aware of where this moon is and how it's aspected, and if things are going to feel like Monday, things should feel like, wow, things are just falling into place. This is so great. Whereas Wednesday, emotionally, the moon is squaring. And when it squares, in particular, Mars, that's uncomfortable.
And with no drama either that day, right? Because it's 10:13 p.m. on the 10th.
Oh, and that's the other thing. The moon is not very strong on Wednesday. The moon is in void from 10:13 on the 10th. So we had some folks listening to last time that work night shift. This would be one of those quiet nights to work on Wednesday night. It goes all through into the almost 4 o'clock on Thursday.
So wait, that would be Tuesday night, because this is saying the 11th is Wednesday. So you're saying, yeah.
Sorry, that it starts on the 10th and it finishes on Wednesday the 11th. I'm
okay.
Sorry, because we alternated charts. I got myself a little mixed up.
Okay.
So, yeah, one of those times where
Tuesday nights, good night to work night shift if you gotta.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be quiet, no
and make
drama.
a chill day for Wednesday. Make it a chill day.
Yeah, I feel like most of the week has a lot of void moons, and a lot of good energy with the trine and the mystic rectangle. So I actually feel like even though Mars is retrograde, things might still come together fairly easily. Okay, and fire has a lot to do with like inspiration, manifestation, transformation and change, and with a grand trine and a mystic rectangle there. Hey, Patty, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And I wanted to acknowledge Kat. We're doing Astrology Forecast. Hi, Betty Cooper. Great to have you with us today. Welcome. And hi, Kristen Naves. I'm glad you're here. So as we go on to the next day, which...
Friday the 13th.
Oh, boy. I'm going to say...
Friday the 13th, coming into a full moon. Don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous.
It could be a little intense.
Okay.
But look at that. You have two grand trines. We've already talked about the grand trine in fire. And now you can see with the south node across to Venus and Pluto down to the moon and Uranus, there's a grand trine in air.
Good, because I have a doctor's appointment that day. Yeah, and I feel like, in air is like thinking. Mm-hmm. Air is thoughts and thinking things through. So that's good. So maybe the doctor be on game with a grand fire. So there's a reason I'm saying that, because if you have to do any kind of thinking on Friday's the day you're going to want to do it. There's kind of a Star of David there, but like you can kind of see it written in blue there. But the degrees are really far away, but a Star of David is a major blessing. So I would just take it as Friday would be actually, I think it'd be a pretty drama-free day. Look, it's mostly void most of the day.
Yeah. So from 12:30 a.m., 12:38 a.m., all the way until 5:22 p.m.
That's a long time on the 13th.
On Friday the 13th. So don't be too worried, because the void will make it very drama-free. And going into a full moon, that's pretty blessed.
That's pretty good. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of calm energy this week with the void moons being so long, and with the trine, and then these two trines on this day. I feel like actually this week's going to be pretty good. You'll probably be feeling pretty good about this week. And on Friday, I think things are going to be extra special. And this is Sunday.
Great day for readers also. Monday and Friday should be, the readings should be like...
Yeah. Although I'm not sure sometimes about that.
Oh.
Sorry that my phone's ringing. Bright Hawk's just going to answer it. It's probably the hospital wanting me to confirm my appointment. Okay. Anyway. So Sunday, December 15th.
Is this the last? Okay, so
Uh-huh.
this is 3 a.m. It's the exact moment of the full moon.
Okay.
So the full moon happens at 3 a.m. and Mercury going to direct happens at 3 p.m., 12 hours later. So, yeah, Sunday has a fair bit of intensity, Saturday into Sunday, Saturday night, full moon. And, but again, I'm just going to point out that, we have some really favorable, positive, good flowing energy aspects this week coming into that full moon. And of course, Gemini is the twins. It's ruled by Mercury. So the moon is opposite the sun, and Mercury's been pulling away from the conjunction it's had with the sun for the last many weeks. So Mercury's still in Sagittarius, but they are separating, especially with Mercury now going retrograde. They were traveling together there for a while. So Gemini is the twins. It's air, it's thoughtful, it's high energy, it's networking and social, very social. And yeah, what else would you add?
I would say that I would increase communication if there's anything going on for you. I feel like it's going to be pretty drama-free, Patty. Patty's having an ultrasound on Wednesday. It'll probably be pretty much in and out without much drama for you, Patty. So that's good news. And we all do need more calmness. I totally agree, Chris Duty. And the thing is that the moon answers to Gemini, which is retrograde. And that's why I say double check your communication.
Yeah. It's good to.
And if that gets frustrating, take an extra deep breath. Because I know sometimes for me, at some point, I get tired of double checking my communication. I'm like, oh my God.
So Sunday afternoon, Mountain Time, from 2:30 to 7:22 Mountain Time, 7:22 p.m., the moon goes void again. So these really big void moon periods. So Sunday afternoon, make it your afternoon. Take a bath, go for a walk, do whatever makes you happy.
Self-care.
Whatever self-care is.
And with Gemini, hang out with your best friend.
Yeah.
Hang out with your best friend.
Really, and enjoy laughing and enjoying, good company.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all week long. I'd love to know if any of you take advantage of it in any particular way or are delightfully surprised by, oh my God, a conversation that I just loathe because this person's a drama queen. It was a piece of cake because there was no drama. Let me know. Yeah. So those are things you can really take advantage of.
Right. Exactly.
And just sort of remember that when that space happens, it's like the exhale the moon takes before it steps into the next sign. So
yeah. And I feel like this week it's going to be a whole lot more calm. We might actually see some really great things happen, like Syria war ending.
Wow,
that's a pretty big deal.
Fabulous.
The Syrian war has been going on.
Peace break out
years.
all over the world.
May they find more peace in Gaza and Israel. And please, for the love of God, Ukraine could really use that peace prayer as well. So we can all pray for Ukraine, and hope that peace is kept here in the United States. And, for right now, this week is beautiful. So try to enjoy it. Try to spend some time taking care of yourself. Have great conversations. If you can, especially if you were born with Mercury retrograde. Now, it's a funny thing because Bright Hawk has Mercury retrograde and I don't. Mercury goes retrograde and my whole, everything goes wrong. And I just laugh at it. I'm just like, okay, whatever. And I just try to get through it and make the best of it. But for her, it's usually a little bit easier. She doesn't struggle with it so much. And I noticed that she also, she's, I have Mars in Gemini. So when Gemini energy comes up, I'm like, okay, I'm like all over the place. Okay, so if you have a Gemini, Gemini can sometimes feel a little scattered.
Hummingbird.
So yeah, so if you feel a little ADHD on Sunday, just give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. And sometimes, Bright Hawk's not quite. She doesn't really. I don't think you have anything in Gemini.
North
You
Node.
have North Node.
North Node.
But she doesn't really she doesn't experience the Gemini energy like I do. And I noticed that. So just know that everybody's experiencing their own reflection of the stars. And that's why I always tell you to take a look at your astrology chart. So hold your astrology chart when we're talking, because where's Gemini for you? What house is it in? What piece of the pie is it in? That's what I'm talking about. The house is the little pieces of the pie in the chart that you can see. Like if you look here at this chart, you can see there's little numbers in that inner ring. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? It starts on the left, goes down, around, and all the way around. Though each of those little pieces of the pie is called a house. And whatever house Gemini is in, that's where the full moon is going to sort of affect you. Wherever Leo is where Mars in retrograde is going to affect you. Wherever Mercury is, it's in Sagittarius. So anywhere there, okay? Also, the Aquarian Pluto, if you have a strong Aquarius placements, Venus is also there. So she's coming to bless you. I'm so glad Venus is traveling with Pluto, because look at that kiss that she just gave the universe by ending the Syrian war, right? Okay, wow. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's pretty blessed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. What do you think of all this lacrosse?
Well, it's nice to see a calm weekend at a time. That's a plus. We are going into the owl. Well, we're in the owl, not going into the owl. I think owl started November 22nd. And it kind of coincides with the whole, like with the speech thing. I was thinking like owls can turn their heads almost completely around. So, think before you speak, look at everything before you decide to say something, because, you don't want it coming out too sharp. So
yeah,
that's kind of what I'm thinking. But that's been what I've been like that for like about since it started on the 22nd. I've just been like, oh, no, oh, wait. Don't say it. Don't do it.
Well, good job. You're demonstrating exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I was that good at that lacrosse, because I say it and then I go, oh, wait a minute.
Oops.
Oh,
you do what my wife says. Just kidding. Just kidding. I didn't mean it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. For me, it's been more about action. I'm so glad, by the way, if you were watching last week, I was saying that Mercury went retrograde and the week before, and our car can't go. We had like a problem with gas, bad gas, and so it made the check engine light come on. And then just yesterday, I went to go pick up something, and the thing went off, and I was like,
solved.
Thank God, problem solved. I would have taken that into the shop and paid thousands of dollars. Yeah. So, and I probably made some purchases during this retrograde period that weren't that great anyway. So hopefully we end up even in the end. So,
well, with the new baby, purchases were made. Too many purchases. I'm like, ooh,
right?
This is gonna hurt.
You can hold off on big purchases till after the 15th.
And I couldn't because I had to get some Christmas gifts for the grandchildren, and I couldn't wait till December 15th to get like subscriptions. If you wait that long, you won't get a subscription anytime soon. So I was like,
I'm gonna be like the owl. I'm gonna eat it and then spit out what I don't want.
There you go.
Like, whatever.
Oh, well, that's a good idea.
Their little scat ball.
Yeah. So.
Is that how they poop?
No, well, they eat. Yeah, they yak it out. That like whatever they can't digest, they'll yak it out.
So when I was in my previous life as an engineer, our campus, our office building, down in Broomfield, there was a great horned owl
Nice.
that decided to perch for a while at the campus. So every once in a while, when you'd be crossing in between buildings, you'd see its little,
Yeah.
you'd see a little ball of like bones and
Fur and bone.
Oh,
you're
gross.
like, oh, okay, where's the owl?
No,
and
yeah.
what a beautiful, incredible creature. Just there, I've always loved owls. I think they're so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, they
Now,
are.
Bright Hawk, weren't you saying something about that the void moons are at like 55, 44, 22?
Yeah, I noticed that the beginning and ending times of the void moons were like angel numbers. Now, usually angel numbers are 3 in a row, like 111, 222. But it starts, the first void moon starts on a 22, then they end on 55, I think, then 44.
Well, it's 40. The first one starts at 44
right.
a.m.
So 44 is about protection. The universe and your spirit guides are protecting you.
Well, thank goodness, because we all need a little of that, right?
Yeah.
And then 3:55 on the 11th.
55 is change. Something new is coming.
I noticed 1013. That's my number.
Ah,
And then
that's true.
522.
22 is alignment. You are
And
in
that's
the right
on
place
Friday.
and time.
So Friday, you're in the right
Ah.
place and the right time during that Star of David and those double
Isn't that cool?
grand trines. So that's kind of cool. Being there at the right place and the right time. And then I noticed isn't the same thing on Sunday for that full moon.
Yeah,
22 again.
You're in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people really, I find that angel numbers really work for me. So, you know, that's really, I find that angel numbers are really beautiful. So, I agree, Chris, that these senseless wars need to stop. And Lori, I'm sorry that you were just found out to have, she said that she needs healing vibes. She was just found out to have breast cancer. Lori, we're going to send you big love, big healing to you. Just know that maybe this week, as you go through whatever has to be done to take care of that. And I know lots of people that have survived. So I believe in you, and I believe that you will survive. So I'm just going to hold that true for you. And I hope that you can hold that true for yourself, that this will just be a speed bump in your life. And that while it might change you, you'll keep going. So just keep that in your vision at all times. Bright Hawk and I have both faced life-threatening health scares. And I would just say that with those kinds of scares, I think the best way to get through it is to just know in your heart, in your soul of souls, that everything's going to be okay. And if it's not okay yet, it's not over yet. So I think that that's like a beautiful way to approach that. I mean, if you've ever had to face that kind of thing, I think that's like the best way to do it. I know it helped me because I just got through like open heart surgery and all kinds of stuff. So, okay.
We wish you all the best.
I'm going to send you big healing vibes. Okay, Lori? I know that sounds really hard. And I know the group, if you post in the group, lots of people will give you lots of love and support. Just make a post so everybody can see it. And I'm sure lots of people will be happy to light a candle and say a prayer for you.
Absolutely.
Okay?
So what do the cards have to say, Hollis?
So I'm going to pull 3 cards. And so I've been just sitting here shuffling them while we've been talking. So the first card, let's try that. Okay. The first card is the 4 of Pentacles. You can see that this person is kind of holding the coins. They're standing on them. It's kind of their savings. They're holding on to them. This is really about, saving money and all resources and reserving yourself. That's really what this is about. This is really good because it helps you understand how to reserve things. And this is in the past. So that tells me in the past, you have held on to your resources. Okay. you've held on to the resources in the past, and this could even be like energy, anything that's worth money, including time. Okay. So this is about saving your resources in the past and how you've done that. And in the here and now, this is interesting because this is about fighting our demons. And considering that Mars and Mercury are retrograde and Neptune just went direct, yeah, that's this. So this is about fighting your demons and about taking action to make those demons disappear and to take over, to push those demons, to not allow those demons to win, and to be a warrior, to help those demons, not take over. And in the future, this is a very interesting card. I love this card. It's actually about, I like lizards, but I don't know about deserts. But anyway, so anyway, this lizard is the Ace of Swords. And what's beautiful about this card is it's the Ace of Wands. This is really about setting intentions. This is really about setting your intention in a good way and doing it, and that your intention is everything. And just like I said to Lori, it's not just about, breast cancer or life-changing things. Whatever it is you want, set your intention on that. And when you set your intention on that, even if there's nothing around you to show you that you would get that, keep your mind on that intention anyway. It's actually a really good thing to do because it helps keep your dreams alive, yes, but it also helps you stay focused on what your ultimate goal is, even if there's nothing around you that shows you that you're going to get that, right? Because this lizard's like out in the middle of the desert. There's nothing around them to support that, okay? And that's the Ace of Wands. So now let's just do a little review. Remember your resources. Remember how you've saved and preserved your resources. That's been really important, okay? Because you are good at it. You are capable of doing it. And then going forward, this is about our demons and fighting our demons and overcoming those demons. So if you're seeing something that you're doing or something you should do or you need to stop doing or something like that, listen to that, okay? Listen to that, because that means then you can also keep your good intention strong, and keep that intention in your mind, the Ace of Wands, even if it feels like it's impossible. Like even if you think like maybe you lost somebody in your life or something's happened to you, you can just focus on that intention, okay? All right.
Good for you.
Thanks. That was good.
Yeah. And and I'm so glad everybody's tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Betty Cooper and Lori Gorecki. And Patty is requesting your love song. Oh my gosh. Hi, thank you, Barbara. I don't know what you said, Barbara. Check it out. It came up blank. Anyway, Barbara was having a hard time commenting on our page for some reason, for no unknown reason. We have no idea why. We tried to resolve it. It was really weird. We couldn't figure it out. I tried to help her. Yeah, Facebook does weird things.
Well, very grateful to one and all. We hope you have a great week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely make sure to like, share, subscribe, whatever it is you can do to support. Please, please, please do. All right. And thank you for watching Rainbow Soulstrology, where we try to be a bridge between you and the stars. See you next time.
Thank you for listening to this week's Soulstrology and subscribing, liking, sharing, and reviewing. We hope you enjoy this dose of Soulstrology and encourage you to embrace the week ahead with an open mind and heart so that you may integrate the deepest of lessons from the stars. Take a moment to step outside and honor the planet, stars, and moon in the sky with your heart. Integrate the messages that resonate and leave the rest for someone else. We deeply appreciate each and every one of you. Always remember that you are a perfectly unique human with an exclusive star map of your destiny, your soul purpose, and your heart's desire. Thank you again for tuning in to Rainbow Soul.